why this solves a lot of these problems. Rob, take it
Yeah,
away.
so thanks, Joe. That's a great explanation. And I just want to start by giving two real world anecdotes, totally related to everything Joe was just explaining, just to make the point very clear that there's nothing theoretical about this. This is actual. So, at my previous job, I worked at a very high profile financial company. All of the users are standard users. Now, there were some very special cases where developers had admin on their computer or they had admin on test computers. There were accounts that were deployed that allowed you to have admin, but not from your actual user account. So out of the gate, the developer experience is limited. In that organization, every application that gets installed on every computer at that organization has to go through a risk assessment process that takes a long time. And what they did to solve this problem, or what they were doing before I left, was building an internal artifactory mirror of the brew packages that they wanted to deploy that had been through the risk assessment, and building this entire infrastructure that they would have to maintain internally to get a lot of what Workbrew gets for you. The second real world anecdote is that we currently have a customer. I'm not going to say who they are, but I'm going to tell you that it's a company that everybody on this call knows. They've never had device management before. And the reason is because, as Joe was saying, it's a very much a developer driven culture. They've just historically, philosophically, from the top to the bottom, they don't believe in it. And it's because the users of the company owned devices there have this attachment to the devices that they're theirs, that they won't be able to do their work without them being set up their way. So again, there's nothing theoretical about this. These are real challenges that people who do MDM out in the world right now are facing. So I think it's pretty important to talk about these things this way. Um, this is a slide that we put in pretty much every Fleet presentation. Fleet is dedicated to openness, making security and IT interoperable. We're dedicated to making automation easy, clarity and trust through open source development. What does that mean? Well, Fleet is built on a lot of open source tooling and products. osquery, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on, was developed as an open source project at Facebook, I think in 2014. Zach Wasserman is one of the co-founders of the osquery project, and he is one of the co-founders of Fleet. So the core of the osquery project and philosophy is very much built into the Fleet product. Um, we develop in the open. We put our roadmap in the open. We put our feature requests and bugs in the open. You can submit issues to the project and have them approved if engineers think it's a good idea. So we build this product out in the open for everyone to see. That's one part of it. Another thing that I like to talk about when we talk to new customers, especially customers that are managing users on Linux, but it doesn't matter what platform, but especially users on Linux who can be your organization's thought leaders, your organization's best developers, your organization's most critical employees, your organization's most difficult to manage people. uh, what I like to say is that yes, MDM solutions are, for the most part, proprietary. They're a little bit of a black box, and it's not entirely clear what may be happening on your device when it's being managed. But if your device is being managed by Fleet, you can go and look at every bit of the source code there is because it's posted on the internet. And if you can read it, there's no mystery to it. So those are the two things I want to get across when we're talking about openness. I think one, the fact that we do these things in the open makes it easier to start the conversation with someone who might be slightly antagonistic to the principle of device management, like Joe was talking about.